It's here. The type chopper. It chops type. It gives analog. Sure as Kilimanjaro.
I've always wanted to build an After Effects plugin, but it's hard to do. You have to know how to code. Except now you don't really have to know how to code. You can vibe code. You can use AI to actually build tools that work exactly the way you want. So I built a tool that I've always wanted, and it's very, very personal to me. I did a lot of things that frankly are pretty stupid when you're building a plugin, but I wanted to do them because I thought it'd be more fun. And now we are giving that plugin away. You can download it at the link in the description. Now I want to start by just showing you how to install it. This is an After Effects extension, and it's very easy to install. Here's how you do it. You are going to go to aescripts.com, and you're going to search for their ZXP Installer. This is a free tool that they've made. Thank you, aescripts. That makes it very, very easy to install UXP and CEP extensions for After Effects and Premiere Pro. Once you've installed it, just open it up and you will see a drop area here. You can just drag and drop the ZXP file that we've provided to you and click install. And that's it. It's that simple. There's a README file that comes with the extension that explains how to update the extension should we ever release an update for it, or how to uninstall it if you don't want to use it anymore. So the extension is now installed and we are good to go. So what does the extension do? Well, it's pretty simple. There's other extensions out there and lots of free tools that do this, but I wanted one that worked exactly the way that I wanted it to work. And that's the beauty of vibe coding. You can actually make your own tools that work exactly the way you want them to work. Frankly, I don't care if anyone else wants it to work this way. This is the way I want it to work. It's sort of like a personal expression of Joey in plugin form. All right, and you can do this too. If you're curious about how I actually built this plugin, leave a comment below and maybe I can do a walkthrough video or something like that. But the plugin simply takes a type layer and it chops it up for you. Let me demonstrate. So once you've installed it, you can open After Effects and you will find the extension in Window Extensions, and it'll be down here, SOM Type Chopper. And when you open it up, this is what it looks like, okay? So this is a very unique interface. I have actually never seen an After Effects extension with an interface like this. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a music guy, and music plugins almost always look like this. They're skeuomorphic. They look like actual analog pieces of gear. And I thought it's way more fun if After Effects had something like that too. So I actually built this interface in Rive. And if you're curious about how you can do stuff like this in Rive, check out our Rive curriculum, part of All Access, especially Rive Academy Volume 2, which gets into responsive design. And responsive design is really important if you're going to be making interfaces like this, because you actually don't know what size on someone's monitor this extension is going to be, right? So if I stretch it out, you'll see that the UI automatically updates, and I can shrink it this way. If it gets a little bit shorter, some of the UI elements will actually disappear to make room for it. So this is actually a responsive layout running on a Rive file. Pretty cool. All right, enough talking. So what does it actually do? This is a type layer. It's just got 8 letters and a space in there. And let's say I wanted to chop it up into the individual letters. So I'm going to click on the text layer here. And you'll notice that the plugin is now activated. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth are there sound effects in my After Effects plugin? That's stupid, and you are not wrong. But I wanted to do it. Rive makes it really easy to do that. Fortunately for you, you can turn them off. I'll show you how to do that. But before I turn the sound off, I actually want to show you how this works. So down here, these are stagger settings, okay? So I'm going to leave this at 0 for now. And then with this type layer selected, I'm just going to click letter. And that's it. You can see it's now been chopped up into letters, and the original layer is still down there, turned off and set to be a guide layer if you need to go back and change something about it. But now if I wanted to animate each of these letters one by one, it's really easy. So let me select one of these letters. All right, the sound effect's getting annoying. Here's how you turn it off. Just click on this little button up here and you'll see the icon changes. And this is cool. This actually remembers your settings. So if you leave this open, the next time you open After Effects, it will remember sound off. I'll also point out that there's a little help button here. And if you click on this, it will bring up some handy instructions in case you forget the 2 hotkeys, which I'll show you in a moment. All right, so we've chopped up this type layer. I'm gonna go ahead and delete the letters so I can select the original again. And this time I'm gonna click word. And you can see now it's giving me 2 layers, one for each word. And if I select one of these layers, I could then hit letter and chop that one up into letters. So you have a lot of options here if you wanna sort of break stuff up. But this is not really that interesting. The real reason I built this plugin is to make animation easier. So here's a really simple example, all right? So all I have on here is some scale keyframes. This just scales up like this, really simple, okay? Now, what would be cool is if that happened letter by letter. Now, of course, you can do this with the type animation system in After Effects, but I find that like just using keyframes in the graph editor, you get a lot more control. It's easier for my brain to kind of grok how it all works. And so what's cool about this is I can animate the whole word the way I want, and then when I apply Type Chopper, it's gonna keep all that animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and click letter, and it's gonna break them up into letters, but there's going to be a little bit of an issue, okay? If I bring the playhead back to the beginning, you'll see that the scale isn't working correctly. And the reason that's happening is due to the anchor points not being set correctly. If I look at where the anchor point is on this P, it's kind of off to the side. And that's because on the original type layer, if I turn off all of these duplicates or just delete them, you can see that on the original layer, if I look at the first letter, that's where the anchor point is. And so each duplicate is going to get the anchor point basically put in the same spot relative to where the first letter was. But there's an easy solution. And if you forget this, you can just click on the helpful little question mark up here. If you hold Option while you're clicking one of the chop options, you can keep the anchor point where the original layer's anchor point is. So sometimes you'll want this. So if I hold Option when I click letter, now if I click on the P, you'll see that the anchor point is in the correct place. But this would be a lot cooler if I could then offset each of those letters by a frame or something like that. By default, Type Chopper is set in 0 mode, meaning all of the duplicates are just going to be lined up right where the original layer is. But I could change this to 1, and now it's going to apply an automatic 1 frame offset for me. So I'll hold Option, I'll click letter, and now I can just play this, and everything animates exactly the way I would expect it to. I can hit undo to go back, and then there's another hotkey that you should know about, which is if you hold Shift while clicking the chop options, it will add a null object and parent everything to that, and you can hold both of these hotkeys together. So if I hold Shift and Option when I click this, not only is it going to offset everything by 1 frame and the animation is going to be correct, but then I have this handy null that I can move the entire animation around with really quickly. There we go. Now you may have noticed there's only options for 0, 1, 3, and 5 keyframes. I really like plugins that are opinionated and don't give you every single option under the sun. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with a lot of After Effects tools is they're so bloated. And there's 5 million buttons and 10 million features, and you really only needed 1 or 2 of them. And so I made this deliberately simple. However, let me show you a quick trick if you don't like that timing, you want something more specific. Very often a 1 frame offset is actually too much. So if I select all of these duplicates now, I can use a relatively new After Effects feature, which is holding Command and Option or Control and Alt on a PC, and then you can click and drag and you can actually adjust the staggering of layers. Really handy. So I could make this take a lot less time if I wanted to, and there you go. Now we've got the animation going faster. Let's look at another example here. So this layer here has multiple lines, and it's also got multiple styles on it. And one of the things that I think is pretty cool about Type Chopper, and this came directly from an all access student requesting this, is that it will maintain the styles of every single character or word on your type layer. So I could also divide this up by words. So what I'm gonna do is just show you, this is the animation that I set up. And I'm gonna hold Shift and Option and click Word this time. And I've got that 1 frame offset still set. That feels a little fast. So why don't I hit undo and set that to 3, Shift, Option, Word. And now I can just check this. And that is working a little bit better. I'm gonna undo this just to show you that you can also do this by line. So I'll set it to a 5 frame offset, Shift, Option, Line. And this is what we get. I'll show you one more simple example. Let me just delete this and I'll turn on this type layer. So this type layer has an alpha matte, right? So that this can just kind of drop down like that. It also has an effect on it, the tint effect, which is animated so that basically when the type drops down, right when it hits the bottom, that's when the color appears, okay? So it doesn't look that cool like this, but if I just click letter, and let me do a 1 frame offset here, Now, every duplicate is also going to have that same track matte set. And so what that means is you can get these really cool little drop-down effects really quickly, but you have all the control of using the graph editor and keyframes rather than figuring out how to do this with the text animators. So I've actually been using Type Chopper. I actually used it on the little promo video that you saw at the beginning of this. I'll show you really quickly some tricks I did for that. So this is a pre-comp where I did a really simple little type effect. The whole idea here was I wanted this kind of 1980s, kind of vectory looking effect for the type, okay? So all I did for this was I made this a 3D layer and I animated it the way I want. Type Chopper will work just fine on 3D layers. And then I also added the echo effect to it, and I keyframed the fill opacity and the stroke opacity so I could get this kind of vectory effect at the beginning, this kind of 1980s Tron thing, but then the type gets filled in, okay? Now that's cool, but if I wanted each letter to do that, all I have to do is hold Option and click letter. I've got a 1-frame offset ready to go, and now we've got that animation happening in sequence just like that. And if I wanted to spread that out a little more, I could then grab that, Option Command, and just pull this out to make it a little bit longer if I wanted. This pre-comp was then tracked using Mocha onto this shot here, so all of that animation actually tracks directly to the TV. And then for the second shot, let me solo one of the original layers so you can see exactly what that looked like. So this is the first line that comes up on the second shot. And what I did was I used a couple of effects to basically build out this glitchy little kind of thing where it reveals the type. And there's also a position move on there. It moves on X position very slightly. So you just get this little kind of glitch like this. And after I built that, all I had to do was select this and click word. And so now it chopped it up by word. And it kept all of the timing of my effect. It just kind of spaced it out onto each word. So you can really quickly get pretty complicated looking type animation. I mean, this is still relatively simple, but you could spend a lot of time kind of getting the initial animation set up on your main layer, and then you can just use Type Chopper to chop it up for you. I do want to point out that the way I'm using Type Chopper is not unique to Type Chopper. You could use any text chopping tool out there. There are many, and if you like the one you're using, you don't have to use Type Chopper, although it is free. But this is actually a really great trick if those tools give you what you need to be able to keep the anchor points in the right place and stuff like that the way Type Chopper does. If they don't, well, now you've got an option. So in the end, I actually used Type Chopper to help make the promo for Type Chopper, and it actually made it go a lot faster than I think it would have. Go download Type Chopper for free at the link in the description, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel because we've got a few other tools in the works and we're gonna be releasing those for free as well. You're not gonna wanna miss those. Let me know in the comments if you're curious about possibly learning how tools like these are built without actually having to be a developer, something I think is really, really exciting for motion designers right now. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and happy chopping.